I suppose I will hide this one again under a bed of flowers, because like flowers, delicate things exposed can be trampled on by heavy-footed beasts. It is curious that the word testify, or testimony, has its etymology in the private parts of the man. I doubt that this coincidence in the Latin origin resulted from spiritual insight. It is notwithstanding insightful. I am thinking about this because last night in a dream I made some sort of agreement, perhaps covenant, with another man. He was tall, and in this agreement he touched me so, and I touched him so in the parts, and I hope it was the Lord himself, because I am in no mood to make such deep vows with anyone else. Now in Christ there is no male or female, there is an equivalence, and in the dimensional worlds and its physics, the dynamics of the one is also found in the other, though organically expressed differently, and separately in our biological shape. When the inner things, such as a core power inside the heart, is found outside, the inner is outer, as in the shape of the private part mentioned, carried outside. This is a fundamental spiritual dynamic. A God can do this. It implies power, therefore roundness is fullness, which speaks of capacity, and the whole thing outside speaks of a thing that can touch reality. Because if much of reality and deep reality and fundamental reality depends on an interface of a thing with a thing, then at its basic level, a thing must be touchable and be able to touch dimensional things, all reality. In God, whose image we are of, and who contains the dynamic of the womb and the seed, reveals, by the inner being outer, that he is exposed, which is to say vulnerable, which is to say accessible. And besides, vulnerability is part of the equation of power. A closed thing has less power. Now, as I said above, a thing must be full. In dimensional physics, fullness or emptiness or half-fullness are fundamental principles with meaning, even as a thing that is, or a thing that is not, must have fundamental meaning. In our day-to-day survival or leisure on this planet, fullness is helpful for trading with life. We wait each moment at the edge of the future. We are right there at that point. Our minds, being captured by automations of weak assumptions, wait for the next moment in the future in powerlessness, with a sort of feeling of emptiness. This helpless waiting contains an activation code to fulfill itself. So we must be full, which contains an activation code. I was thinking about this because in my inner mind earlier on as I woke up in slumber, I sensed this being. It might have been a teaching angel, and he showed me something that looked like a foot or leg with a foot that was made up of some type of marble, and its toes were fused together as though from the rough casting of plaster. And he said, "It is the false foot." I knew immediately what he meant because at the same time I understood in my mind the full or true foot or feet. I understood it because I had already started to increase my financial wealth using the feeling of the aspect of a king. The king rests, he waits, he is full and trades from fullness, and trades on the stock market with a violin, a piano. He or she is over the stock market, not under it. He or she has learned the power of the dance with life, shaping things with shapes of being. The false foot is made of sand and stone. It is empty. The future looks for this foot. Our sense of the future forms the future. So let us be confident. The future lands on a foot. The foot is an extension of the pelvis. The pelvis and the future are in immediate proximity. They made a deal, a vow bound in physics of all things. They had touched each other at their deep parts for a witness. Even the Kabbalists and Gnostics, whatever dark waters their ships are sailing into, are aware that Yesod, or some essence of our lower parts, touch reality. We must feel our being.